Alrighty, so right now I want to make sure I document as soon as I stop recording, the entity sounds more helicopter activity. And that's exactly what's going on right now, 1:45 p.m. This is exactly what they were doing while Monica Chung walked into my office communicating a threat on behalf of this government that's obsessively stalking by helicopter, waits until I stop recording one video and immediately sounds helicopter activity again. I want you to be clear, not only is the government engaged in state surveillance in the United States, I'm in Southern California, they're also demon possessed. This is the evidence of their demon possession. And that is the core issue. That's the underlying issue as to the explanation as to why the government is engaging in state surveillance. The state of California are literally puppets of Satan. They are practicing demonic activity, and their demonic features of their stalking system is therein lies in the ongoing group conduct. Demons act in packs, and the government is acting as an entity to engage in what is demonic with regard to amplification, flying right over my office as I stop recording the previous video, and then also the light source. And that's also how you know that that's a demon flying a helicopter, not only because of the amplification, but because of the light source that's directly above me, and it's not over the Fontana Lewis Library, which is what's going on April 24th, 2022. You can look at the latest image I took at 1:36 p.m. as I'm walking into the Fontana Lewis Library. You also know that that's a demon because this light source is here from the beginning in alignment to my apartment till the end of the day in alignment to my apartment where it's also setting. That's the identification of a demon-possessed stalker, not just a stalker, a demon-possessed one, which is readily identifiable. This is speaking to what's going on when you're seeing the light source over my head at the courthouses. That's what you're understanding. And this same demon-possessed entity that is exceedingly hostile and it literally engaging in what is the ongoing stalking conduct in the face of evidence. Literally, I stop recording, immediately start sounding helicopter activity. Monica Chung is a senior citizen, and the federal government's going to put a lot of senior citizens in federal prison where they belong. These are aged, Satan-serving third parties, and they will get no special treatment under the law while they're in this country, many of whom are not even natural-born citizens, and they are in this country engaging in terrorism with the government. The entity is engaging in crossing the path. That's Sang Lee of 1814, number 3. She's going to federal prison. This is a demon in another helicopter over here acting with this demon in the spot. They're both going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. This is the government. It's flying in a circle, flying over my office, under the light source at 1:45 p.m. You know where I'm at 1:45 p.m. during daylight savings time. The demons of the Fontana Police Department have the light source over my head while I'm at the Fontana Police Department. The Fontana Police are a bunch of demons. This is P.O.C. Yeah, her and her son are going to federal prison. That's crossing path 5KPV 787. They were coming into my office while LAPD was flying over just the other day under the light source, okay? That's demonic. And they're flying right over my office, okay? This is ongoing terrorism. You're looking at them at all hours of the day. They're flying in circles around the property. What do you think that they're doing? They're focused on me. And I want to be clear, this demon-possessed entity is engaged in what highly, highly psychotic. That's a demon, and that's how you know that it's not just a criminal, not just a stalker, not just an idiot, okay? Because you're literally flying in a circle. They're not doing anything. There's no emergency. Nobody's dying. There's no robbery. They're flying in a circle, and they're letting you know that they serve Satan. That's a demon right there, and they're stalking me. They're doing it under the light source that's over my head, by the way, and the light source is not over the Fontana Police Department. It's directly over me in Los Angeles, but I documented that on April 29, 2022 at 1:45 p.m. after Stephanie Ortiz, who was going to federal prison because she's a part of the same entity, and she summoned the entity that's stalking day and night in helicopter and engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. And that psychopath, who is a sex offender, is being documented to date, and she's going to federal prison. That's why. The Fontana Police Department are filled with demon-possessed stalkers as well, arriving pursuant to the criminal act of criminal summoning, where the entity is stalking you day and night, including at your workplace, in the specific environment, and then arriving while a third-party group stalker lies, makes up information, and that demon that is stalking you then is wearing a badge, coming into the venue where you're at, where they're monitoring you 24/7, knows when your panties are down, they're stalking you 24/7, and then arriving with a straight face. Oh, hey, so what's going on here? I got a call. They didn't get a call. They're stalking you. They're monitoring you. They know exactly when your panties are going down. And their whole humans doing so. How many times in a day am I going to capture this? All right, so you're paying attention to the environment that it's happening in. It's happening while the light source is hovering over me, and it is not over the Fontana Police Department. And I will upload that video because that entire police department is going to be disbanded as well, engaged in multiple acts of criminal summoning while they are engaged in state surveillance and federal stalking on the venue of the internet with communication devices because they were hostile, just exactly what this entity is exhibiting now. While I'm uploading videos, engaging in amplification of helicopter activity, I step outside, demons are flying over in helicopter over here, flying flying in circles in helicopter over here, and what you're paying attention to is a specific environment, because this is nowhere near Ontario, where the entity is engaging in conduct as though the sun is rising and setting at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The entity is engaging in keeping a light source as though it's going to be rising and setting at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, the Economy Inn, where the light source is remaining over my room from the beginning to the end of the day. Where this entity engaged in kidnapping, okay, and that's why they're going to be removed. Also, they're demons that are exercising fictitious authority under the law, and then they're acting with the sheriff's department, a bunch of demons that are wearing badges, monitoring as well, including in the facilities, and then the demons of the courthouse that are masquerading as officials, and they're not. They're abusing their positions, exercising fictitious authority when the police, who are placing you under surveillance with the people, are then exercising fictitious authority. This is what Jason Knighton of the Ontario Police Department did. This is what Morrison did. This is what Patty did of the Ontario Police Department. This is what the entity that is engaged in 24-hour surveillance does. And then it starts with what are these demons here. Exercise of fictitious authority. You don't have any probable cause. You don't have any reasonable suspicion. You don't have any basis to arrest for an actual crime if the target individual steals a candy bar, because they're monitoring you 24/7. They have information that they're not even supposed to have if they weren't so heavily stalking you. And that never ceases to change. And engaging in flying in a circle is the ongoing terrorism that they did right in front of my living room as well. And nobody is fooled. This is open terrorism, open stalking, and they're going to federal prison for that. This is another video that's going against the people of the state. All 59 units here, they're all engaged in this state surveillance system, and they're demons that are doing so. And they're going to federal prison for years. They're not going for just 6 months. All right, this is exposing what is a system that is fully exposed, and upon its exposure, you're witnessing the threat that they are to American citizens in this country. Those sirens are audible activity. But I want to be clear, this scene is where the people of the state are maintaining minors. And this is a highly chaotic, terrorizing scene where they are including children. That's also why you're removing all the children from the possession of the people of the state. And it's not just the 59 units. Along the hillside, they're monitoring. They're engaged in federal stalking as well. They are going to be prosecuted for what they're doing in concert with this entity that's engaging in whether it's the pattern of conduct. 24 hours a day. The light that you're seeing all over the walls and on my ceilings, on inside of my apartment from the beginning till the end of the day, under no circumstances would that be the sun. This is what you're looking at Amazon Prime participating in, acting with that same corrupt government. This is what you're looking at the United States Postal Service participate in, acting with that same corrupt, and they do it with impunity. In plain sight. That's the demon that was monitoring with the underage minion affiliated with Susana Martinez. While he opens his door, and that underage third party is engaging in the same exact demonic system with LAPD. He's stalking in the path with light. He's creating light activity. He's monitoring with LAPD that's flying over in a circle. This is the concerted conduct right here, and that's called impunity. All right, his license plate is already documented. He was the demon that was monitoring with an underage person in the Toyota Camry, and he's going to federal prison. He's already documented, and that's impunity. All right, so I want to be clear. It's 1:54 p.m. This is the maintenance of the light source that's nowhere near the Fontana Police Department. The entity is heavily documented engaging in so. This is documenting what is stalking in the path. And he's also engaged in federal stalking, and he also knows that all he's doing is stalking me, and he also knows that he's being documented. This is impunity. This is the demon that's just moving around in the engineer light, walking around in the engineer light, flying around in a circle, openly exhibiting the fact that they're demon possessed, and they're monitoring together. This is just one that comes out to move around me in the engineer light. That is a whole demon engaging in the ongoing exhibit. They keep on doing that. You notice how they keep doing that? That's what demons do. Okay, that's P.O.C. And I'm going to upload all of those videos into the internet. Everybody affiliated with speaker companies is going to federal prison. All right, so I want you to see again who that includes. That includes Maria Solis Alvarez. That includes Carlo Lopez. That includes Maria Hernandez, who are engaged, Juan Carlos, and Selena Robledo, Don Noggle, Kimberly Fletcher, Yolanda Poon, Michelle Chung. The entity engaging in what is monitoring through the means of what is providing a company name whereby the same exact criminal system is underway, and it is actually it's providing an enhanced method of facilitation. So you have what is speaker companies, which is the third party group stalker. That is, I'm logging into my computer right now because I want you to see what is the additional names. Don Noggle was engaged in this system while the entity was flying directly over my office, and then they're doing laps flying in a circle in relevant position to me. Don Noggle is going to federal prison for a prolonged time. For a prolonged term. This is surrounding evidence of what is not the sun that's over the Fontana Lewis Library today, 2 years ago, nor is that the sun that's over the Fontana Lewis Library as I documented on April 29th, 2022, after this same exact demon-possessed entity, the people of the state, acting via Stephanie Ortiz, engages in what is summoning entity that you see stalking me all day long at work. That entity is the one that arrives and engaging in what is asking questions as though they don't know. Let me be clear. The entity is summoning itself. They're keeping you under surveillance. They're monitoring on the venue of the internet, and that is an ongoing criminal effort to obstruct justice. That's why Stephanie Ortiz is going to federal prison, and the ongoing damages that I continue to suffer and that I did suffer because of her criminal act on behalf of an entity, that's going to be relevant when she stands before a federal judge and she finds out how long she's going to federal prison. Understand what the entity is doing, prolonging justice that you should have gotten while you can lose your life. This is what the entity is doing to American citizens. Many of them are losing their lives, and then you're given a false narrative. Let me tell you who's delivering the news to you. The people of the state. I've documented those demons driving Telemundo vehicles. Okay? They're driving the vehicles and reporting the evening news. As I've documented them, group stalking on the roads and the highways, driving their vans there, and then they're going to the offices in LA and they're reporting the news. Something, Los Angeles and the state of California is engaged in state surveillance, period. Okay? That entity that's flying in circles is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. And I want you to be clear. The entity is Don Noggle, who also is engaged in, this is the one who was engaged in monitoring while I was on the phone this morning. His voice is audible activity. The entity flies directly over my office and they're monitoring me now. But I also want to be Sarah Chambliss, Luis Garza. They're all engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. They are engaged in the pattern of conduct while they are exchanging emails and including me in their emails. This is one entity in figure 8. This is a commercial means of engaging in that pattern of conduct. Everything that's happening on the internet on this communication device is my evidence. It's the federal government that's going to use it to prosecute a large amount of people and companies. It is speaking to and revealing what is the system that is actually at work. And I also want to include Kimberly Fletcher. She's going to federal prison as well. The entity is engaged in an ongoing pattern of conduct. And while you see it's 1:58 p.m., it's occurring in the specific environment where criminal surveillance is underway and also monitoring on the venue of the internet. All right, in violation of Title 18. This is spectacular evidence that you have what is just of engaging in what is psychotic behavior. Let me be clear, the flying in a circle positioning, it is a demon's act of demonstrating their true condition and their very high disturbed mental state, actually. The demon possessed are, and not to in any way fictionalize this for you because it's not a movie, it's not funny, it's not entertainment, it's very real. And what we refer to in the natural as mental health issues, much of this is rooted in that which is spiritual, and it's a matter of what is darkness that oppresses a human being. And this conduct of pacing back and forth, this is a very, in the vernacular, I would refer to a person like that, that's a freak weirdo, that's a crazy person, okay? That's, somebody that's off, that's just going back like this. Imagine somebody running back and forth in front of you. You're standing still and they're just walking back and forth in front of you. Okay. You would be like, what is wrong with you? Okay. And then you would walk away, but they would continue to follow you, continuously doing this everywhere that you're going. In addition to doing this everywhere that you're going, no matter where you're going, day, the entity is surrounding you with what is the engineered light that you're seeing all over the place. And while the light source is remaining over you, what demons are doing. It's demonic activity. All right, you're seeing it while an entity is flying in a circle. This is a method of this conduct, and that person is literally telling you that they are oppressed with a dark spirit. Okay, that is the outward demonstration. That's exactly what I mean. It is the outward demonstration of demon possession. And the entity is continuously engaging what is even on its face, even if you don't have that level of sight, okay, even on its face, the entity is surrounding me on an ongoing pattern of just flying in circles, okay? That is also terrorizing, even if you don't have the ability to interpret spiritual darkness, okay? That's on its face terrorizing. It is currently 2 p.m. and the entity is engaging in what is that ongoing outward demonstration of terrorism. You've seen them circles in relevant position to me over Silverview townhomes. You've seen them engaging in terrorism, flying in circles over a building 1800 and 1802. You've seen them flying in relevant position to my apartment, flying outside of my living room window, over the hillside, right in relevant position for 47 minutes. And you saw them fly in a circle. I believe that was just yesterday. And you saw them engage in this flying in a circle yesterday at the same location, which is what I just captured right now. These are demons. That's what demons are doing. And that's actually what they're doing. And I want to be clear, the mentally disturbed, because that's what demon possession is. That's what demon possession has the effect on. So you've seen movies of people doing things like, and this is extreme, and I don't mean to scare people, but it's actually very serious, because what is right now control, and I put that in air quotes, controlling itself, okay? Controlling its veiled hostility to those that are not of that condition. The pattern of conduct is a secret. Okay. The pattern of conduct is, and what I mean, the criminal system that's underway, the pattern of conduct is exposing the system's secret system. It's exposing the condition of those that are engaged in that system. And it's actually exposing what is a massive population, at least here in California, but I'm going to let you know it's not just in California, but at least here in California, it's a massive population. There is no exception. And this demon possessed population, which is it is acting via the government, is engaging in what is demonic activity. That's very highly disturbing. And you have them in positions of government, and they are outwardly conducting themselves as though they are dignified professionals, such as a judge. But this is in every way a psychopath that is exceedingly hostile and is monitoring you while outwardly maintaining what is supposed to be a dignified demeanor in public before your eyes, before the masses. And this is before their true condition, their true purpose is revealed to you. And that's what the pattern of conduct is serving you for. It's letting you know what's actually going on. And regardless of the uniform, regardless of the veil that demon is wearing, you know them by what they're doing, literally. Okay, there is a saying, if you're familiar with, you know them by their deeds. And you literally know in the environment where you're at, you know them by their deeds. You know exactly what they are. And it's very disturbing. Not only that you're crawling into a whole helicopter to follow me around, but then which is also, that's already evidence. These are demons that are stalking. Demons group stalk, period. Okay. You're learning that demons are hired by Amazon. Demons are wearing United States Postal Service uniforms. Okay. Demons are flying commercial airline planes, and they're pilots that are flying across countries with hundreds and thousands of people's lives in their hands. Okay. These are demons, and these are companies, people with a lot of money and a lot of power, and they're hiring their own. Okay. That's why you have the workforce serving Satan, engaging in group stalking. These are the greater implications. That's what's going on. But yes, indeed, you know them by their deeds. And this is exactly what's happening. You're just looking at it through traffic. You're looking at it in the airspace, at, planes flying in the sky. No, they're demons that are pacing all around you. They're demons. Okay. And these demons are engaging in criminal conduct, which we can all agree on, because we can all read the languages together. We can all understand the laws together, and their secrets, and it's criminal what they're engaging in. And so, like I said, getting back to the point, the light source at 1:45 p.m. is over the Fontana Police Department. And this is where the Los Angeles Police Department are telling you the secrets of the Fontana Police Department. It's the same entity. Okay, they're openly demonstrating demon possession, and they're doing it under the light source, which is over me at the Fontana Police Department at the same time, which is impossible. And LAPD is providing you the generous evidence of what is the condition of the Fontana Police Department. They're demons. You know that because the light source is over my head while I'm at that address, and that's not possibly the sun while I'm in LA, and that light source is at the same time over me in that manner. In addition to that, LAPD is openly exposing themselves, even outside of the position of the light source, letting you know that they're demons in the engineered environment. Okay, this is what they're doing when they're flying in a circle. This is a demon that's pacing all around you. And this is the psychotic behavior of those that are actually obsessively stalking as a population. They are obsessed with the targeted individual. The targeted individual is the one that is not of that condition, that's not a puppet of Satan, that is not bowing down to that entity. And again, this is really a reality of what is spiritual. And there is an ongoing agenda for you to be focused on the carnal, focused on the physical, the material, what you can see. Okay. And that's deliberate. So anyway, I'm going to digress from that, but this is a criminal conduct. And that's just as an aside, what that demon is demonstrating to you. And the fact that you're looking at terrorism on its face, federal government, the entity engaging in this act of terrorism, that's terrorizing on its face. Police department engaging in this pattern okay, a pattern, over Silverview Townhomes, over 1800, 1802, outside of my window, over the hillside, twice outside of my office. That's 5 times. That's a pattern. And that is on its face terrorizing conduct. But we're going to go deeper than that. It's occurring in a specific environment. It's audible activity. It's criminal engagement in the elements of monitoring, evidence of demon possession. It's occurring in the specific environment. By the way, everybody in that specific environment is not coincidentally engaging in the pattern of conduct in sync. That's evidence of demon possession, and the pacing conduct, which demons are doing as a group. So it's not looking like this one person. It's looking like driving. It's looking like walking. All right. It's looking like, I'm reversing my car. I can't get my car, parked correctly. So I'm reversing and forward. That's a demon that's pacing. Remember, it's the environment that it's happening in. It's not the sun that's present, rising and setting at the address. Demons pacing. Okay. It's not sunlight that's appearing above my head, creating multiple shadows at night. No, demons pacing. All right. And so this is speaking to what is necessary on its face is the disbanding of the demon infected Los Angeles Police Department, who are systematically acting to aid in the prosecution of a whole government in the state of California, because what they're doing in the specific environment in Los Angeles is revealing what I already established when I was not even in LA, but it's even more clearly seen when I'm in LA, and there's a grand departure from the sun rising and setting at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. Okay, what I spoke then at that time was the truth, and nothing that I have already stated is in any way contradicted. All right, it is underscoring the truths that I already spoke. It is currently, again, 2:06 p.m., and this is P.O.C. All 59 units at Alvarado Gardens are filled with third parties highly mentally disturbed. Okay, that demon possession that's exhibited by a demon flying a helicopter who is openly, again, the legal analysis, that's threatening, terrorizing conduct what on its face. Okay, but even beyond that, the pattern of conduct is speaking to a pattern of maintaining presence in helicopters and engaging in what is the demonic feature of amplified audible activity, while they're also keeping you under surveillance via communication devices on the venue of the internet for the purpose of also obstructing justice, silencing that targeted individual, and doing so while they are maintaining corporate presence in concert with the people of the state. For purposes of speaker companies, all of the employees are going to federal prison. That sick illustration that LAPD just provided you, that's the entity that speaker companies is the face of maliciously acting in concert with, and they're all going to federal prison for that. They're engaging in what is group stalking and federal stalking, to be specific. That's why they're going to federal prison. In addition to what are other additional federal charges, such as obstruction of justice, such as the impermissible threat, such as being an exceedingly violent sex offender, and doing so with ongoing knowledge. Again, that federal stalking, oh God, you're talking about a sex offender that knows that they've been exposed, and then you just engage in flying in a circle, trying to scare the crap out of the target individual even more. Okay, well, that unlawful purpose is also subject to what is more time in federal prison. Okay, so anyway, it is currently 2:08 p.m. and all third parties here are going to federal prison. Let me be clear, because the entity crossed path in plain sight, using a third party that does not live at the venue, it does not matter. The entity that is in no way escaping justice, so they'll bring a third party that doesn't live at the venue because there's somehow making some sort of superficial and illusory division between the people of the state who are going to federal prison here. No, because they're an entity acting as one, that impunity is attributed to the demons that are going to federal prison here. That's how you're using that malice against them. They're monitoring together. And so all 59 units are engaged in ongoing show of terrorism, flying in circles, that is monitoring in your face, in a helicopter, highly sick and disturbing, okay, in the specific environment, terrorism, open and plain demonstration of demon possession, terrorism, while you're engaging in what is seeking to silence the target individual. So the entity will get engaged in stalking like that and then fly over you again to stop you from uploading the evidence about it. That is a whole psychopath, okay? And psychopaths are surrounding. It's the demon possessed. All right, and this is not a scary movie. You do need to picture in your mind, though, something like I Am Legend, where you see a whole bunch of dead people, they're zombies, and they're feeding. It looks like they're feeding off of each other in the dark. The demon analogous to that, and they don't want you to know about it. Okay, and that picture of them being in the dark, that's the main with regard to what they're actually engaging in plain sight, looking like they're just exercising, and no, they're demon crawling around in the engineer light. They're actually doing this in your face, hiding the fact that they're being freak weirdos, pacing back and forth by doing it as a group. And you'll see more than one person drive by you, more than one person walk by you. Okay, that's the convenience of the demon-possessed population, because one person does not have to pursue you. They're doing it as a group. They're engaged in what is cooperative stalking, which of a freak population. There's nothing elite about the demon possessed. Contrary to what these demons in high places that are making money are telling themselves, but they're not. They're just as much of a cockroach that's sitting in a corner, collecting welfare, being a group stalker with a government that's flying in circles in a helicopter. What is elite about that? In their minds. Okay, so you've been disillusioned by a position that you're in, but you're going to be snatched away from, and you're going to be exposed. You're going to be subject to civil and criminal prosecution. And that's just the reality. These are hollow, bottom feeders who are, like you've seen in I Am Legend, feeding in the dark, engaged, targeting someone, but they just don't want it to be seen. And I'm showing you exactly what you're looking at. That's doing. And they're getting to the point to where you're openly showing the fact that you're a whole psychopath. They're doing. And this is dangerous for American citizens. I'm letting you know, but ahead of time, before this demon-possessed entity was ready, what they're actually doing and how they do it and how obsessed they actually are. Okay? How sick they actually are. All right, so make sure you closely analyze the video that I just captured. That amplification, seconds after the previous video, the light sources over me here in Los Angeles, and that was a light source over me on April 29th. I was documenting exposing demon possession of the Fontana Police Department, their criminal engagement of state surveillance. That's why that environment is shared, because it's not the natural environment that would ever occur. The entity is maintaining that specific environment around the one whom myself they are monitoring, and demons monitor. And this monitoring system is operated by the government. So there you go. It is currently, again, 2:12 p.m. and this is P.O.C.